Hello and welcome to the first module of Cakebox Academy. This is module 1.0, Branding 101. And in this module, I'm going to be giving you an introduction to the concept of branding and going to be highlighting why it's so important for you as a small business owner to understand how branding works and how your business can benefit from being strategic about your branding. So in this module, we are going to cover a few things. We're going to cover what branding is and its fundamentals, why branding matters in the modern marketplace, how brands are a universal language, and we're going to go through those one by one, and you're going to get to understand why looking at your business or yourself as an individual, as a brand, will actually benefit you, especially in the media landscape we're living in right now in the 21st century. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it right now. And we're going to start by looking at what is a brand. Now, a brand is a set of characteristics, feelings, and expectations associated with you, your product, or your service. So it's not logos, it's not color schemes, it's not fonts, it's nothing like that. Although they are related to the issue of branding, it's a lot deeper than that. So specifically, branding refers to the process of giving a distinctive identity or personality to a product, service, or even a person. So it's not something that's tangible, it's a process. Branding refers to the process of giving a product or service meaning in a customer's life. Now, many people wrongly assume that brands are about logos, slogans, and color schemes, as I mentioned before. When you think of branding, the first thing that might come into your mind are the visual characteristics of a brand. While that's very important and that's something that we're going to be teaching a lot of inside Cakebox Academy, the most important thing about a brand is being memorable. It's about helping your customer understand your value. To back that up, branding is about telling a story that communicates the value of your product or service, placing emphasis on three things, and that includes your level of customer service or your expertise, your brand voice and your personality, and of course the visual presentation of your brand and your image. Okay? A brand is the feelings, expectations, and characteristics that spring to mind when your customers think of your business. So if you have been running your business for a while and you've got lots of good feedback from happy customers, what they say about you is your brand. So you've got to understand that. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, it's about telling a story that communicates your value in terms of your customer service, so how good your service is, how you treat your customers, and generally what the experience is when dealing with your brand. Brands are universal language. So if you look at the Coca-Cola image on the right hand side, no matter what country you go to, it doesn't matter what language they speak, that symbol, that brand is instantly recognizable. And by having a strong visual identity with your business, you are allowing yourself to be more memorable, and you're putting yourself in a position where you can be more valuable to your customers than your competitors, and that's what you want to aim for. So, and the reason for that is the language of branding is universal. So it doesn't matter where you are. If your visual branding communicates a story of quality, trustworthiness, and that sort of thing, then you will be winning in business. So it's important to understand how to position yourself and how to take advantage of how branding actually works. So I'm just going to explain to you why it matters. So why branding matters, especially in the modern marketplace. Branding matters in the modern marketplace because we're conditioned to identify with brands. We are actually conditioned to identify with brands. So to back that up further, you're probably using the same toothpaste you've been using for the past 20 years. Okay, you identify with it. You probably buy the same brands over and over again. That's another piece of evidence that shows that we identify with brands. And the thing with brands is that they help us distinguish products or services from one another. So if nothing ever had a brand on it, everything would all be the same. Okay, and that segues perfectly into what I'm about to say next, to let that hit home for you. Okay, so there's a quote from the Bible that I'm going to show you, and you're probably wondering, why am I going to use a quote from the Bible? Well, you'll see in a moment. Now, this quote says, "What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun." Okay, that is absolutely true when it comes to business, unless you are actually going to invent something that's never ever been seen before. But in general, in the small business arena, we're offering something that other people are doing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if other people are doing it, it means that there's a market for it, and that means that there's money to be made. So you can actually use that as validation. Okay, when it comes to inventing new things, they don't always take off, but the fact that you're doing something that so many other people are doing, it shows that there is a market for what you're doing. And because there is nothing new under the sun, the number one question customers are going to be asking when they're exposed to your business or your brand is, why should they buy from you? Number one question. Why should people buy from you? And you need to be able to answer that question in everything you do. From your communication to your visual branding, you've got to show your customers why your offering is going to be of value to them. And the reason for that is that the fight for attention is on. There's so much competition out there, and if you want to eliminate your competition, you need a strong visual brand that tells a story and communicates the value of what you're offering. So that is basically an introduction to branding and why branding matters. So it's not just about your color scheme or your logo. It's about how you communicate. It's all about how you are constantly telling a story through the way you interact with your customers, through your the way your products and services are packaged, and the visual representation of your business, so your visual branding. Okay, so just to review, branding isn't just about logos and color schemes. It's a process of telling the story that communicates your value. You need to strategically manage your brand in order to stand out from your competition, and a strong visual branding is a key to attracting customers, especially in a crowded marketplace. And especially if people aren't familiar with you, the visual branding is what gets people's attention. So I hope you got value from that. And with that being said, you have successfully completed this module. I hope to see you soon in the next training. Bye for now.